What's up, everybody? It's your boy Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself, doing a quick live feed today. Want to just discuss something. I was talking to one of my clients that's actually a small business owner, me being an accountant. They asked me about hiring their children. So I want to do a video to let people know if you're a small business owner, give you some reason why you should hire your children. Because we have a lot of people, especially, right now, they're entering in entrepreneurship, they're starting different businesses up, which I think is awesome. But they for the most part, know what they do. So if you're a plumber, you're electrician, baker, designer, whatever, you know what you do. You know the particular product or service that you're putting out. But the whole back office, the accounting, management, finance, legal side, operations and stuff, that's what people kind of struggling at. So that's what the whole basis of the whole Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel to kind of give you guys a lot of insight to what I have acquired through 21 years of being a business owner, accountant, professional, things like that, to share with you guys. And again, just me being an accountant by profession, I want to have this video to give you guys some feedback in regards to information in regards to reason why you should hire your children. Okay. Again, this is Mr. Short on the YouTube channel. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. I think we got all the platforms covered. But again, today we're discussing reasons you should hire your children. And one of the first things I always say, and this is probably the most important because me being a parent, I got 4 sons. Uh, we all want our kids to grow up and be successful people, be productive and everything like that. But one of the biggest things we try to ball on, is that depending on how comfortable we made our children, is establishing some kind of work ethic. And a lot of times we raise our kids to have more than what we had. And somehow during that part of raising them and providing from them, we kind of drop the ball sometimes on kind of establishing some kind of the desire to be able to go out there and fend for themselves because as opposed to we give them a lot. Just speaking, probably hypothetically, but a lot of times it does happen. Um, my kids, for the most part, they have their ways. I have 2 grown. They're doing okay for themselves. Uh, Two that's heading on their way out and stuff. And I never really had to be a sponsor for them or anything like that in adulthood. But I can see they haven't had a struggle in their life, so some things I had to push them a little bit harder with that. But one of the key things is I want to get to is that by having your kids working for you, you can help establish a good, strong work ethic. You can let them know, okay, these are the things. If you want certain things, these are the things you need to do. And if you put an effort in and accomplishing these particular things, you can have these particular things, i.e., progression, development, most importantly, money. So just being able to have an opportunity to establish a solid work ethic is a great reason to have your kids work for you. The second one is, and this is going back to my whole accounting background, is your child can earn up to 12,000 a year without you paying taxes on it. We know the base standard, that standard deduction is $12,000, so they can make up to that amount. We don't have to pay. They don't have to pay any tax on it. More likely, one they have to file. So you still have that payroll deduction as a business owner, but the kids don't necessarily have to report that income, right? So that's one of the things you can kind of look at because it's below that. It doesn't have to be reported income. The child can still file the taxes, and um, they won't have any tax liability with that, because it's understand deduction. But they can file, but most importantly, they don't have to. But most importantly, you still get the opportunity to write that payroll off, right? But you don't have to pay the payroll taxes for that. Just keep that in mind. One thing, a big caveat with that. So you don't have to pay. They don't have to pay taxes on that amount. And I think a lot of times, a lot of parents that are self-employed, they kind of drop the ball on that one. Very, very, very good provision you can have with doing that. Okay, just in regards to having your kids working for you. Okay, um, what I'm about to make have a brain cramp. No one you get, the other thing I use 2 or 3 of them in the same thing with doing it. Because they're under 18, you don't have to pay the taxes on that income. They don't have to pay any tax because they're under 18. I put to combine some because they're under 18. If they are under 18, you don't have to pay the taxes on that income, and that's a good thing with doing it. So again, you knocking out a couple of birds at the same time, establishing work ethic, You don't have to worry about anything because they have to pay. They don't have to file because on their standard deduction amount. The tax don't have to pay if they're under 18. And another thing is, those deductions. You write those same things off in regards to just the payroll expense you get turned, the payroll expense being able to write off, and probably a lot of tasks. I call them the $10 hour tasks you can get taken care of, because I always say people as a business owner, you know your true value, what your worth is of your time, right? So you figure yourself, if you're the owner, you're the CEO, you say arbitrarily, my time is worth $50 to $100. What you don't want to be doing is caught up in those $8, $9, $10 an hour gigs, photocopying, emailing, stapling, mailing, stuff that you got no time to be doing. That you probably got to sit here and dedicate 1 or 2 days out of the week to try to do all that BS. You can get your children to do those kind of things. They're young, they're bored. They can be a whole lot more efficient and productive at it than you can, okay? Because you're worrying about, bills, strategy, marketing, advertising, partnerships, all this other kind of stuff. You don't have any damn time to be stapling and gluing and mailing and all this other kind of stuff. So those are one of the key things you can actually get done, those grunt work, those $10 an hour gigs. And also, again, you get to write it off because you're paying them to do it, okay? Um, this is one thing I think is pretty, important part about it, guys. And that's, I can't, out of my 4 children, they've dabbled and dabbled with the business, especially the two older boys, got a 28 and the 20-year-old, the two oldest ones. They never really gravitated toward the business. The younger ones may, I don't know, but they dabbled and dabbled. But one key thing I can say, what I thought was pretty cool, got a lot of chance to bond and spend time with your kids. And I always, I'm pretty close with all four of my boys. But any opportunity you can get to spend with your kids, you want to ideally you're establishing that work ethic, but you always want to be impactful to them, because our kids listen to what we say, we hope, but they definitely watch what we do. And so if you can be an example of showing that work ethic, showing, your ability, your capacity, how you lead and do things like that, your child can look at that. Now, again, it can be a point where they say, man, my mom and dad, they pretty impressive. Like, oh, my mom and dad, they crazy hell. I really don't want to do that. It can be either or. But you still get a chance to be with each other, bond, have a good time, and you can't, we all know that when once time is spent, you can't get it back. So any opportunity you can spend with them, because you never know how things go as they get older. They may want to gravitate to other places, and certain opportunities come up. You can't spend time with them. So anytime you get an opportunity to spend with your children, I always tell people, try to take advantage of it, okay? I'm trying to just have my little list here and stuff with doing that. I would advise, any business owners, and you also can get a good chance of just even with training your kids and even any form of kind of succession plans. I would say this, as a business owner, somebody been in business for 20 years, because you hear so many times about generational wealth. You hear about, I'm African American, so you hear other communities, they have the whole family working there, and they're, one person's doing this, one person doing this, and they keep it in the family. I think that's a cool concept, but I'm just going to be straight up with you guys with it. I think it's good from a practical standpoint to hire your kids. That's what the video is about. But also kind of don't be so stuck in from the other side of that being what your kids want to do. Again, I'm kind of just adding an additional caveat from a person that's been experienced, that got an established business, self-employed entrepreneur. I own several businesses, and I haven't had a solid gravitation of my children to want to do the things that I have done. That's not a knock against them, but everybody's individual. And I will say this: the best thing you can do is actually give your kids the tools to be able to go out there. They want to start their own business, or they be productive and everything, as opposed to trying to build this foundation for them to do it. Because what you don't want to have situation is that you've created this business, you've created this opportunity, and they don't want it, and they're not obligated to do it. They're not obligated to run the food truck. They're not obligated to run the bakery. They're not obligated to want to be a plumber or electrician or run the landscaping business. It's a great opportunity. I'm pretty sure if you built it over years and stuff like that, but if they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. So we have to be very, very careful when we developing our kids, we putting certain things on them, we kind of looking at it. I got 4 boys. All got different skill sets. I can kind of look from the sideline and say, okay, he's pretty good with that. He's pretty analytical. He's more so, he may just need to be working for somebody, not from a negative standpoint, because they don't want to leave. He doesn't want to leave. He can work hard and everything. With being an entrepreneur, everyone doesn't have. That doesn't mean everyone doesn't have the opportunity to be an entrepreneur, but that's some traits you got to kind of have, just to be able to handle, the whole indefinite side of being an entrepreneur. That means, the stress, the worrying, the the, the non-promising things going to happen when you actually doing something you hoping to happen. Sometimes some people really just, if I go to work, I just want to check, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I think you can kind of assess that stuff also. You got your kids working for you, watching them and stuff. And if they do have an interest in doing what you want them to do, you can push that on them at that particular time, but not necessarily creating a situation where you got your kids in something they really don't want to be bothered with. And a lot of times, that's not necessarily difficult to happen with a lot of people. And a lot of times with children, people and entrepreneurs, because I hear it so much, well, we're going to build this legacy, we're going to have this particular business up. I've seen it. I've seen a lot, and I've seen a lot of guys bring their kids in, their kids ruin their business. Only because the kids look at my mom and dad on, I can do what the hell I want to do, and they just run everything to ground. Seen a lot of guys leave stuff to their kids, and their kids run the business in a year or two, if that long with doing it. So I'm just saying to you, it's cool to have them work from a practical standpoint. We learn to give establishing work ethic. You get an opportunity to look at those different deductions, the tax breaks, um, things like that. Also, kind of, just giving them an idea of what you do and stuff like that. But don't make it so that's the end-rooted formula. Because like I said, I've seen the businesses of family run, where everybody stick with it. It's great, but you don't know the backside of it. With doing that, is everybody happy? Are folks miserable? Is it thriving and stuff like that? And this not to be a damper on anything, but I just want you guys, if you are in business, to be kind of looking at it. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Looking at it from that perspective of how you doing it, because it's one thing to start a business, another thing to get your business successful, another thing to have your business sustaining it. But then we also got to look at what's called succession. How you going to be able to break from that business? Because you hear the term exit strategy. Sometimes we talk about a lot uh, the executive and upper management. We talk about from a business owner, you go over in grad school, the exit strategy. How because markets change, opportunities change. How would you get out of a particular business? Would you fade out? Would you sell it? However you will do it. And succession is actually how you're going to transfer ownership or leadership of a particular organization. You're going to move it over to your kids. You're going to sell it. You're going to kind of how you're going to rotate leadership in and out. And everybody in your tribe may not necessarily be interested in doing it. So you got to kind of look at how you want to have that going. If it's something that you want to keep open after retirement, you got a particular employee like, hey, listen, I know they'll be pretty solid at it. My son and daughter, they're cool, but I'm not really feeling them taking the reins of this. So kind of keep that in mind too. So this has been kind of like some additional nuggets I gave you guys in regard to that. Just not only just why you should hire your children, from the business advantage, tax advantages, the deductions, the bonding, and things like that, but also more so getting the opportunity to connect and develop them on the standpoint of future operating, running your business, but also just giving you ideas in terms of like, look, this is something I can actually leave to my children. Because like I said, I have two now, and their interests may change. Their interests may change because again, at uh, 20, 30, 40 years old, we all evolve and different things become important to us. So, they maybe go a couple things, do a couple things, a couple experiences, and have a different outlook. Hey, Dad, I'm ready to come on in the business. Now it's on me to sit here and look and see how serious they are or not, or where I can figure they can do. We can do the plug and play for them to fit in with everything. But I will just say, when you are a business owner, you have this dream you're trying to fix. I understand the whole thing. I'm trying to build this for my family, but also want to be very, very cognizant of your dreams is just that, your dreams. And I'm only saying that because that was a kind of like a shock for me. Because my children can see, look, Daddy out here making money. Daddy has established business, been in business 21 years, everything straight. You can just take over, fresh mind, fresh ideas, sky's the limit. But you also got what's called their interests also. And at the end of the day, if you're not going to be, you're not definite, that's going to be something, that's something they're going to be interested in. You got to kind of rethink how much you're going to be putting in time to create a situation for them that they really don't want. Okay. Listen, that was just a quick video. I want to do a live for you in regards to you guys. Make sure, again, I'm Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. You know the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel. We talk about personal finance, business, investing, and entrepreneurship. Got with 400 videos on the YouTube channel, grant playlist with 150 grant opportunities on it. So I want you guys to make sure you check out the channel and go from there. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell. Hit the if you're on YouTube right now, make sure you hit that dollar sign in the bottom right hand corner and hit the bell to get notification. Each time we upload a new video, we're streaming live now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. The main hub is the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar, where all the videos are hubbed at. So wherever you're looking at, I appreciate it. But make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar, subscribe. Got a lot of great information on the channel and a lot of great information coming down the pipe. So best of luck to you guys. Take care. If you got any further questions, feel free to reach out and everything. And I'll talk with you soon.